All right, everybody, how y'all doing? My name is Nathan Felix,
Oh, my name is Kyle.
and welcome to the first 908s and Heartbreaks podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Woo.
very funny that we called it 908s and Heartbreaks, not because we're filming this on Valentine's Day, but just because we're from Union, and it's just
That's the area code,
yeah,
bro. It's the area
and
code.
and Kanye is an icon who we love very much. But yeah, so it's not gonna be out on Valentine's Day, but we just so happen to be
Yeah.
recording this on
hmm
Valentine's Day, and I mean, I know a lot of you guys are probably sad and single, or maybe you're cuffed right now, but
Yeah, congrats to you. Lucky you.
for real.
Lucky
But um, whatever situation you are in your life, we're glad you're watching this and choosing to spend your time listening to this. So, yeah. So I guess like we could start off with talking about how we came up with the idea of starting this. It was kind of just like random. Like I would just
Yeah.
text the idea and then just see who would be down to do it, and
Yeah.
it kind of just
It's down to
happened.
just the two of us. It's like, oh
Yes.
yeah, we get the whole squad in. Oh,
Nope.
here we are.
Nope, it's just us. But it's all good, you know?
You think it
Just
was inspired a bit by Trash Taste?
yeah, for sure.
Largely in part of Trash Taste. You know how weebs be.
I don't know if you guys know what Trash Taste is, but they're like this huge podcast of like these three really good friends. They're like some of the biggest anime YouTubers, and they just put together a podcast
Yeah.
with like all their different personalities, and yeah, they just talk about anime all the time, which probably was gonna end up happening. But
Oh yeah.
honestly, we're just going with the flow. It's just a little passion
Mhm.
project that we wanted to do.
Oh,
So, you know, but yeah, so Valentine's Day is today.
That is correct. The 14th.
Terrible night to try to go and eat out if you
Oh yeah. I
did
don't know how
not.
people could have had a date in the first place. Like,
For real, like
what?
if you didn't plan this shit in January, you're basically fucked today. Like I don't know what else to tell you. Like I work at a spa in Edison, and the amount of boyfriends I've had to tell that like Valentine's Day is already booked this week, it's like crazy.
Bro, why you
because
want to go to a spa though?
it's crazy to me because like you would think that they would have this shit planned in advance, but then they get mad at you when you can't do anything about it. When it's the week of Valentine's Day, you're calling me about like probably the most popular day of the whole entire year for like couples massages, and it's so insane to me.
I don't know, but how do you think that's romantic though? You got another person touching you. You got another person touching you, feeling you
I
up,
mean, I
making
guess.
you feel good. Like that's not.
All
I
right,
don't
all
think
right.
that's.
It's probably just the fact that like they're doing that together as a couple. That's what's like so appealing about it. But
Mhm.
honestly, could not be me. Could not be me. But oh my god.
Couldn't be any of us really. Not we didn't go out, or at least I didn't, other than work.
I only went out today with my friends because unfortunately I am single this year for Valentine's Day. But
The
that's
homies, the homies are forever though.
fine. Yeah, word. We just went to a diner. Wasn't busy, so we just sat down, ate, and just caught up with each other, and it was nice. It was nice. And I saw a lot of my friends that are in relationships did some really nice stuff today, so that was cute. I think that Valentine's Day though has like all the other holidays has gotten like skewed.
Oh yeah, bro. Yo, it's even worse than like a Christmas when you're an adult.
I don't. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's just like a marketing thing now for a lot of companies and businesses to, like profit off of couples, and I guess single people
Hmm.
that want to spend the day taking care of themselves.
Yeah, I like it's not like a legitimate thing anymore, you know? Like, oh, it's not about love anymore. It's not about like, your actual couple. It's just like, hey, you want to go out for Valentine's Day, right? Oh, you should come to us. Give us your money.
Yeah, basically. Where it's like, oh, you want to make your girlfriend or boyfriend happy, you gotta buy them this thing that's only on sale for like the next 2 weeks and shit like
Yeah.
that. I feel like especially with TikTok and seeing all of these young people doing all this extravagant stuff for their like significant other, it's like sorry.
You good, you
It's like
good.
skewing people's perspectives on how
Hmm.
Valentine's Day is like supposed to be.
Oh
Like a
yeah.
lot of people are like very insecure about not getting the right gift or not doing the right thing for their
Hmm.
SO and
But it's not about that though, you know?
yeah,
It's
like
just
the
like the whole point is that, you're just being together and just supposed to like, love one
celebrate your
another. That's
love.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. At
It's
the end
not
of the
about it's not
day,
about flexing. It's not about, oh, who's the best couple. It's like there's no like waifu wars here
I
for
think
Valentine's Day.
if you look at Valentine's Day like that, then I think there's something wrong with your relationship.
Ooh, ooh,
It's like
ooh.
low key toxic in a way.
Hmm.
Like you
Yeah,
letting him,
you're like trying to be like a trophy couple basically,
yeah,
like that.
which is not healthy. It's not good.
Oh yeah.
But like seeing all these young people on TikTok and some of the things that they do, I'm just like, damn, how do you have like the money and time for
Hmm.
this?
Oh
Like,
yeah. They're like, oh, guess what I got for my boyfriend? Guess what I got for my girlfriend? I'm like, first off, how do you find this? I don't know where you're finding like these products. And second, I look at the product and they're in the triple digits range of
for
the price. I'm
real.
like, hold up.
Or
If you spend, yeah.
people that get their significant other like PS5s.
Oh yeah, like what? Are you trying to get them to break up with you? Like they're not gonna spend time with you. Like you give it to your boyfriend, that guy's gonna play Spider-Man all day.
I mean, yeah, basically that's what I do on my PS4. I mean, shit. But yeah, I just feel like this whole thing with like Valentine's Day, not to like knock on it or anything. Like it's still a very special day to celebrate. Um, but if, like your relationship is like really healthy or really good, I guess. I feel like
Talking about like based on what you do on Valentine's Day?
no. I mean like just I guess I feel like every day should feel like
Valentine's
Valentine's
Day.
Day,
Yeah,
you
of
know?
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause like if you're reserving like all your you're reserving all your love, I guess, and affection for one day,
To just show it off,
right?
then
It's like
bless you.
thank you. I don't yeah, I didn't want didn't want to interrupt, but yes. Like I don't know. It's like all of a sudden like boyfriends and girlfriends, depending on what the type of relationship is, they're like, "Oh yeah, now's the day I should start caring." Like you should care every day.
Yeah, I can see that. I just feel like it's just a lot of like just young couples. Like they just feel this pressure to make Valentine's Day super special,
Hmm.
which of course is fine.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can take this day to like celebrate the love that you share with your SO, but there's really no pressure to go all
Hmm.
out today. Like,
It's social media. It's the
yeah.
influence of social media because everybody's like putting their lives on social media for everyone to see.
Mhm.
Like, if you do something with like your significant other, odds are that thing is at least going on Snap. You're probably
Yeah.
taking pics and you're gonna post it the next day. And it's like, not to hate on couples, but it's like it's not like everyone's trying to see that
Yeah.
on a constant basis. Like, my philosophy is that like if you're in a relationship, then like you kind of share that, within the relationship. You
Mhm.
don't gotta like spread that to everyone else. It's like, oh, I did this with my girl, I did this with my boy. It's
Mhm.
like, okay, that's great, good for you that you guys did that. But it's like,
You
what does
shouldn't be
the
doing it just for
yeah,
that.
yeah, like it's not supposed to be like, ha, guess what? You're single, I'm not. Let me tell you why.
Yeah, like if you're going into Valentine's Day and like planning for it with that mindset of, oh, like look at what I did for my significant
Hmm.
other. Like I did all this. and I'm like the best boyfriend ever. That's
Yeah.
just I just don't think that's the right way to go about it.
It's like,
And
yeah, be jealous of me.
I mean, I've really only celebrated Valentine's Day like twice, I guess.
hmm
And
I mean, that's
I'm
two more than me.
but it's yeah, Valentine's Day like planning for it, it's very stressful, but I just feel like it shouldn't be,
Well,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, I think because like if you're gonna be with your significant other, there's no reason to feel pressured at all. Because
Hmm.
if it's a healthy relationship, then you're both okay with anything mostly.
Yeah, and
You know,
they're
for
gonna
the
love you
yeah,
regardless.
yeah. So it's like if you're trying to like be like, oh, I'm gonna spend like $100 on our romantic dinner, and like, oh, I have to make it a good day for my significant other. It's kind of like, well, if your significant other is looking at that, if that's what they're looking at in you, then
Yeah,
something's wrong there. But
but
even if that's not the case though, then like you don't need to stress. Like they
yeah.
love you. Like go to Wendy's, get a 4 for 4. I think you'll still you'll still have a good time.
Yeah, honestly, they probably appreciate that like a lot more
Mm.
than. Hold on, let me adjust my input
Yeah,
because I
you
feel
good.
like.
You good.
Hello. Okay,
You're good. Yeah.
but yeah, so I just feel like a lot of people just fall under this pressure that social media and I guess society like
Mhm.
puts on young couples to have this extravagant thing that they really like don't have to put
Mhm.
themselves through, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you go into Valentine's Day understanding that you guys love each other and you just want to spend the day together and no matter how that may be, like doesn't make you any less of a couple than like the couple that goes on
Yeah.
like the super expensive like 5 course dinner and then they give them like a Cartier ring and shit
Mhm.
like that, but like it doesn't make you any less of a couple.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are very insecure about that, and you really shouldn't be
Yeah.
because
Honestly, just like just being with them alone, that's as good as it gets.
yeah,
Just spending time with them.
like your SO is gonna love you regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah, like my Valentine's Day last year, I waited at a Korean barbecue place for like 2 hours just to get seated.
Ah.
Like eating out on this day is literally the worst because if you don't have
Everyone else trying to do it. Yeah.
if you don't have reservations already, like probably a month in advance, like you're just screwed. Like I don't know.
Yeah, because everybody else trying to be like, oh, this is the spot. Like, if
Yeah.
okay, right? Like, if you think it's a good place, everyone's gonna think it's a good place. So you gotta either like snipe that reservation quick, or you gotta find somewhere else.
Especially with like TikTok blowing all of these places up. Like I've
Oh
seen
yeah, all those like the anime ramen shops.
yeah, like I've seen so many restaurants on TikTok that I would just go to like around like campus or around town and just like
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy to me
Mm-hmm.
that so many people are starting to figure out like where like all of these places and they're starting to blow up and they're getting more and
Yeah.
more crowded and it's just damn. Like just the influence of
Mm-hmm.
TikTok in general is like kind of scary.
That is true. Cause like, man, like if people see stuff on TikTok, no references, and then they believe it, like straight
Yeah.
up, and like it's kind of scary. But yeah, TikTok has a very large influence because everyone like voices their opinion on it, and like obviously you're not supposed to believe everything you see on the internet,
Yeah,
but
of
because of
course.
like how tight knit the TikTok community is, they're all like, okay, well, why would you lie on this app? If you love this app and you're like the rest of us, then you have no reason to lie.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's what happens where everyone's just kind of, it's basically a lot of trust and a little too much trust in what people say that they just believe it.
Yeah, and then I guess with like seeing the influence of TikTok is like I didn't realize I started doing certain things because of TikTok.
hmm
Like I would say something about something as small as like, "Oh yeah, I saw this like thing on TikTok and I really wanted to try it like this recipe or whatever."
hmm
And I like it just looked really good, so I think I'm just going to try it. And like just that the fact that it has the ability to enter your like everyday mindset, I guess, is
Oh
like
yeah.
it's kind of scary because like it could influence you to like thinking of things that you probably would not have thought about if you didn't like come across it on like your For You page or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, that's like honestly like half of the like trends on like TikTok is just like stuff that it's kind of like that bewilderment factor
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, oh wow, that's like I never knew that, and then it's like spreads.
Yeah,
It spreads like that.
I feel like that's part of like a huge reason why anime blew up over quarantine was because all of a sudden everybody just started coming out as a weeb on TikTok,
Oh yeah.
and all of these like huge influencers or like white people, I guess, on TikTok started talking about like Naruto and Dragon Ball Z
Mhm.
and shit. And it's like now everybody thinks that like, it's cool to like anime now,
Mhm.
and that's great. Like
Yeah, exposure for the anime community over here in America is great. Great.
I used to watch kids get bullied for liking anime, and it was really hard to watch. So that's like why I would never talk about it at school.
Those bullies though, they grew up to like anime too, bro. Let's be
Yeah,
honest. Let's be honest.
I mean, honestly, I don't know why anybody that has seen anime wouldn't like it.
Mhm.
Like,
Unless you were like a victim of one of those people who like purposely give you like a cringy or like really just like out there anime that they just wanted to send it to you as a joke.
like weeb friends that tell you to watch Boku no Pico
Yeah,
as like your
it's
first
like,
anime.
and then you're just like, okay, no more. I can't do this.
But yeah, it's just that like overall influence. It's so scary to think about sometimes.
Hmm.
Like social media has really gotten to this
Yeah,
point where like people just feel so pressured to follow what's trending just to
yeah,
get like more internet presence.
yeah. Like if you go, okay, right. Let's say you go on your Instagram, right, and
Hmm.
you look at your like the meme pages. Meme pages are just posts of videos ripped from TikTok.
Yeah,
Odds are, if you get a DM from someone, it's them sending you a TikTok, but on
or a tweet,
Instagram or a tweet.
or a tweet like Twitter, Instagram, like and
They're all just
TikTok.
interconnected, really.
Yeah, Snapchat too. It's all just becoming this like one entity that
Hmm.
everybody is so invested in,
Hmm.
and I feel like a lot of people sometimes don't even realize it how much it's like I guess taking over their life, and yeah, that's just kind
I
of
mean, it's
scary.
yeah, it's. See, this is the thing. Like everybody's like, oh, you know, you gotta like limit your phone time and stuff. But like in our current like the world situation, you're kind of stuck with this. Like
Yeah.
it's. I'm not saying that it's okay because of that, but like it's one of the reasons as to why this is like getting really influential.
Yeah.
Because like what else can we turn to? Like we have hobbies and stuff we can turn to, but the phone is the most accessible thing to you at
Hmm.
any point, even if you're outside. So like
Especially with this
that.
whole pandemic. Like
Hmm.
it's literally the only way for so many people to stay connected to each
Oh
other.
yeah, yeah.
We've kind of just been forced to rely on technology as like our way of
Hmm.
human contact. That's literally why we're doing this
Oh yeah,
as a recording instead of like in person.
yeah.
And
Because we can't meet up.
um as much as it sucks, it's just like the reality now.
Hmm.
As much as we want to stay away from online and social media, like so many things rely on it now, like job
Yeah.
hunting. If you just want to be successful in general, you have to have an online presence or else no one's going to know who you are.
Oh yeah. Like there's a lot. Like even on your like your resume, you have to have some type of like technical what's it called? Not certification, but like experience at least.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know how to use Excel. I know how to use a Word document. Like,
I know how to use like Google Suite.
something as simple as that, you should put it and like it bumps up your resume.
Yeah. Which is so weird cuz
Cause I think it's weird because to us this is like so easy, you know. It's
mhm.
like normal life to us. Oh, we can use a Word document, light work. I learned that in like middle school. But like, I don't know. I feel like corporate people in corporate, you know, I feel obviously I wouldn't know, but I feel like it's just most of it was just like paper.
Mhm.
You're tracking things on paper, on like like a physical spreadsheet. You're writing down like numbers and stuff. You're doing paperwork, and then everything goes digital. And if anything, if anything, the most like technical experience would be like learning how to print something. So you get the file, get your PDF, and then you print it, and then you fill it out there instead of just like typing it on.
Yeah, but now it's like if you don't know how to post something on Instagram or know how to edit on even
Hmm.
like freaking
Yeah.
Photoshop is like an essential skill now,
Hmm.
or video edit to some degree. You're almost not marketable.
Oh yeah,
And
like you have to have like a wider skill set now just to even be considered.
yeah, there's this like which is good, I guess. It allows people to branch out more and try different things and like learn these core skills, and then all of these other like opportunities show up for you. But it's also scary for people that don't learn that stuff at a young
Hmm.
age, and then
Yeah.
by the time they're in college and they still don't know how to do it, they kind of just feel this pressure of having to learn everything at once, which is kind of like I guess what I'm going through right now with being a junior, trying to find internships and cleaning up my resume and just selling myself to
Oh yeah.
people just to get an internship. It's it's a lot of pressure
Hmm.
of comparing myself to other people my age that have like so much more experience and like other skill sets that I just don't have.
Oh yeah, dude. It feels so pressuring just to like know that you have to meet like certain requirements that like it would be so simple to get.
Mm.
Like oh, like you can say that oh, I've like written a Word document before. But you still have to like you just have to write like it's not implied that you would know. You like even if it's so simple, you have to put on your resume and you have to be like, "Yes, I can do this." But like you still have to not lie about it. Like
Yeah.
it seems so simple to us, and we could just be like, "Oh yeah, I know how to use a Word doc." And then like let's say they tell you, "Oh, I need you to like do a certain formatting," and you're like, "I don't know how to do it." And it's like, "Oh shoot."
And like the other thing with that, right, is a lot of these companies talk about like learning on the job,
Hmm.
but then they also expect so much experience. It's like how much exactly are you going to be learning on
Oh
the
yeah.
job
Oh,
if they expect you to know this much already?
yeah. Like I don't know how like your major like how much you require, but I know like entry level jobs for engineering, like it'll say like you need 5 years experience. Like that's how you mean like my college years? Like that's how long I'd be in
Yeah.
college? What?
Yeah, so for context, I am currently a junior at Rutgers, and I'm studying communications with a concentration in like public relations and strategic, and I'm minoring in like digital communication and information and media. So basically, the field I'm trying to go into, at least the career my degree I'm trying to use my degree to get into would be like marketing and public relations type stuff. So like social media marketing specifically. So if you see like a lot of companies that work with influencers and collaborate with like famous people or put out like social media like campaigns and stuff like that, that's pretty much what I'm trying to get into. But all of that, most of that, honestly, is networking rather than just the fact that you have a degree in it. Like you really have to know people, and that's honestly probably the hardest and scariest part.
That's low key for like all of them though. 'Cause like
Yeah.
you know how like if you get in a frat or sorority,
Mhm.
like the moment that if someone else that's in your frat, like they're the hiring person and they're like, "Oh, you were in this frat?" Say less. Like
Yeah.
you're in, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
I worked. I like went through all this, and I just have to be in a frat to get in. Well, obviously it's not that easy.
Yeah.
Um, but to an extent, it's just knowing people. Like you have obviously a higher chance of getting hired by someone like that even slightly knows you than getting hired by someone who doesn't know you at all. Like unless you sell yourself really well at your interview, then like that that what's it called? That small little like recognizability.
Mhm.
It's like it makes a difference, I think.
Yeah, that's what so like the organization I'm a part of like on campus is like the Filipino org, and a lot of the alumni that come in to talk to us, they always tell us that like networking and connections is like the most important thing. And a lot of professors too in college tell you the same thing, that you're gonna be a lot more marketable if like you grow your network, and let's say you apply for this job and someone that works there just so happens to graduated from your school and was also part of like the same organization that you did. It just makes you stand out better.
Hmm.
And um which can low key be pretty intimidating, especially if you're like more introverted. It's like um I know for a lot of people that I know, it's very hard for them to just talk to people or and strangers, and just the fact that like becoming successful in like society now relies so much on that.
Hmm.
It's pretty daunting. Like I mean, I'm not as introverted as I used to be, but yeah, I don't know. Like I know you're a little more introverted, so I guess you
Yeah.
could.
I mean, I know that. I don't know if you had to take a class, but I know like I go to NJIT for context, and I know some people in NJIT they have to take an oral speech class,
Hmm.
stuff like that, public speaking. Like nowadays, that's like a required class to take. Like it's part of your curriculum if you're going to graduate. And like, well, I can see for NJIT, I get it.
Yeah,
Most of us are
yeah.
introverts, but like it does play a big role because like if you're in a company, right, and you don't talk to anybody, odds are like if something needs to be done and you're not gonna have the courage, even if it's so small, to speak up.
Hmm.
And like if you want to be like or like if you want to do your best work, you kind of need to collaborate. And if you're keeping everything to yourself, odds are, there's gonna be some type of thing that just you needed to know or that they needed to know that just didn't communicate, and now it's like, oh, now you're set back, and it's kind of like the sad thing.
Yeah, like probably the one of the worst parts about college is group projects and working with people that you don't know in class and being forced to
Hmm.
collaborate with them. But like high key, that's probably one of the most important skills for the
Hmm.
real world, because
Yeah.
you're not gonna know who you're working with most of the time.
Oh yeah. Like you have to get used to working with strangers. Like in like you have to get used to it quick, cause let's say like it doesn't even matter where you are. Let's like your first job, and it
Mhm.
requires that you have to work with a team, like a startup, I guess. Well, if you're not gonna speak up, how are you gonna contribute?
Yeah.
Like if you're not gonna communicate with each other, what do you do? Like you just sit there, twiddle your thumbs, and hope that everything goes well without you. Like you're supposed to contribute, and like it's supposed to be like a team effort, you know. And like if you're just by yourself, you can only do so much. No matter
Yeah.
how good you are, you only have two hands. So.
There's just certain things that you just need more people
Mhm.
to to work on.
Yeah, I also think like the social factor plays a big part in like leadership,
Hmm.
because obviously an introverted person cannot, odds are they won't be able to lead a large group and like be able to handle like large groups of people, or learning how to like tell someone what to do, really, because introverts are like usually they don't want to demand anything of anyone.
Hmm.
They don't want to ask you to do something because they're like,
So that
oh,
puts
I
pressure on them.
yeah, it puts pressure. But leaders have to like they have to step up and be like, okay, we need to get this done, you know, and like, I'm gonna give it to you straight. This is how we got to get this done. You do this, you do that. Let's work together here. Um, like, cause yeah, I'm not saying that you can't be soft, but
Hmm.
you do have to put sometimes like there's healthy pressure, where it's like I need you to do this, and then let's get it done. Um, like you can't just let like if you have a good team, you can trust them to do things on their own, right? But
Yeah.
they still need guidance, and if you're too quiet about your guidance, you never know what direction they're really headed. Like you have to be speaking up and just keeping people updated on how things work. So,
Yeah, you gotta have some kind of authority to get
Yeah, yeah.
like anything out of life. Like if you really want something, you have to like fight for it in a way, you
Mhm.
know? You can't just sit around and be like, "Yeah, I want this thing." Like I guess like since today's Valentine's Day, like, "Oh, I want a relationship." You can't just sit around and wait for a person
Oh
to come
yeah.
around. I mean, like sometimes that happens to you. Yeah, like that's happened to me, and I was just like pretty like fucking lucky to be honest.
Mhm.
But like the reality of like wanting to get into a relationship, you have to really like do the work to put yourself out there and
Oh
find
yeah.
someone who you think you might be compatible with and take that risk.
Mhm.
And also
Yeah.
being straightforward, because I feel like I guess with at least from what I've seen with like TikTok and social media and all of my friends that are like caught up in this whole culture of like simps,
Uh-huh.
like I feel like a lot of people can get out of their situation of being a simp if they're just straightforward when they communicate.
Mhm.
Like, don't play around with this whole like, oh yeah, I like this person, so I'm gonna do like little acts of service and
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
hopefully they'll reciprocate.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't play cat and mouse with that.
yeah,
You
like you
gotta
got
you gotta show it. If you don't show it, at least I don't know. I don't know how like girls might feel about it, but I know for guys, we're dense. We're we're dense, dude. We don't get no hints. We don't get no hints, bro. I mean like, and if anything that we could like take we could like misinterpret, we can misinterpret. Like if you drop your pen in front of us, we'll be like, "Oh, this girl likes me, bro. She's trying to get my attention."
oh
But
my god.
like you just at least towards guys, like you gotta be a little more straightforward.
Yeah, for sure.
And with girls, like I think guys are too afraid. Like there's like they hold women to a very high standard where they're like, I can't make a mistake,
Hmm.
and they're like, oh, I can't
That's
I can't be vulnerable. Where they're like, okay, I like this girl, but I can't tell her I like her, man. Like either I have to get her to tell me, or like, or she just has to figure it out.
yeah. That's like the trap a lot of guys I feel like fall into. And that's
Hmm.
what like creates this whole simp culture because it makes them okay with just playing this guessing game
Hmm.
with the person that they want to be with, and that's just not good for anyone. You're
Yeah.
wasting your own time by just not being straightforward with like
Yeah.
what you want and like with the person that you're trying to be with.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so cringy to see like, oh my god, especially with Asian guys and this
Hmm.
whole trend of like simping over ABGs and shit like that. Oh my god, it's so annoying to watch because it's
Hmm.
like
Yeah, like dude, like when you I don't know how that's even real. Like you go to college and you see people and you're like, there's no way anyone can be like this. Like we're mature people here in this room. And then you go on social media and you're like, how are people still like this? Has the world not evolved? Do people not understand like that, the what's it called? Like the ways of the past are not the same as how they are now. Like it's
for real.
okay. It's okay to say that you like someone.
Yeah.
Like
Like bro, you're 20 years old crying over some like girl in college that you've like I don't even know like this whole idea of like trapping ABGs with like boba and jewel pods and like raving and
oh,
shit like that. It's like
like, wow, you really know the way to a girl's heart. Like, they definitely want you to give them boba for the rest of their life. Like, they don't
and just
want
buy them
your,
jewel pods
yeah,
and like
they
take them to
don't
raves.
want your love, bro. They want the physical things, man.
They just want your nicotine. They just want your they just want you to feel their nicotine
Yeah, bro. They
addiction.
don't get serotonin from you. They get it from the Nick.
Oh my god, like it's so not sad. Like it's oh my god, it just hurts to see like
Hmm.
seeing guys that make this their whole personality of just like not being able to communicate how they feel
Yeah.
basically and just doing these acts of service expecting something in return, but
Yeah, you can't. That's Loki. Like technically, that if it gets too far, that's harassment, straight up.
high
Like
key.
if you're like you're basically bribing someone, you know, and you're trying to like coerce them into like, oh, I did this for you, I did this for you. Now you gotta do something for
Yeah.
me. That's a case.
Then
That's
they
a
try to pull
case.
that shit where they say like, "Oh yeah, nice guys finish last." Like, no, dude, you're not a fucking nice guy. You're an asshole. Like, what is wrong with you?
Like
You're
nice guys play, cause nice guys play the long game, you know. Nice guys play the long game. They're like, or like, they're really putting like I think nice guys put thought into it, you know,
mm,
where they're like, okay, if I really like this girl, then I'm gonna be serious about it. I'm not gonna like play around. Like I'm gonna treat this girl right, you
mm-hmm.
know. And then like then there's like the other type of guy who's like, I like this girl. Okay, we're gonna day one, yo. Every day we're gonna keep working towards it, which is a good hustle. It's a good hustle, but you're kind of doing it off like instinct, where you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, I like this girl. I don't know why. I don't even see if there's a future with her. But oh yeah, I would. I want to have a pic with this girl on my Instagram, like.
Oh my gosh, she wears fake lashes. She does the pointy eyeliner.
Oh, oh,
Dude, oh my god, it's so oh my god, it's so fucking cringy.
bro.
I really hate Asian guys my age sometimes, cause it's like they really put themselves down for no reason, dude. Like,
Hmm. I don't know. And like you see it too. I'm not, not trying to say this is the entire Asian male population, but at the like hint of a heartbreak, it's like they're just done. They're
yeah,
done.
they're just listening to Gibby on fucking repeat. Like there was
They're like,
too many people that I saw on TikTok today saying
mm,
like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just listen to a Heartbreak Anniversary on repeat and just cry myself to sleep today because I'm gonna be alone
yeah.
on Valentine's Day. Like, bro, pick yourself up. Like, what
It's
is?
like it's like they double text a girl and they don't respond. They're like, oh guys, I can't do this anymore.
I'm
And they
down
just,
bad.
I'm
I'm
not.
down so bad.
Like yeah, they're just like guys like I think I'm depressed, guys. I'm just gonna stay in bed all day.
I get no matches on Tinder, bro. Like, oh my god.
My Bumble ain't working either, man.
Hinge, oh,
Oh
sad
man.
case. It's a sad case.
Uh, and
But
like
yeah,
it's just that people can do better. I don't know. I don't know if it's just that they don't know, but this is your wake up call.
yeah.
If you're like that, I'm kind of sorry that we kind of roasted you, but like you gotta
Nah,
change.
you
This
deserve it. You deserve it. I'm not sorry.
this is the wake up call. This is the wake up call. Like you can't. This is if you perpetuate this for the rest of your life, you're not. It's not gonna work out. It's not gonna
Yeah,
work out.
honestly,
Like
like,
if you think the way to a girl's heart is through money, boba, or some other physical thing, and you don't look within and you don't look
mhm.
at like what's coming from your heart, ain't gonna work.
Or if you're just like doing these like good acts of services, expecting something in return,
Mm,
that's just not how it works. Like, you gotta be good to someone for the sake of being good to them, you know? And also, if you don't communicate how you feel to someone, you can't be mad when that's not reciprocated because
mm,
you're the one that wasn't clear about it in the first place, you know?
yeah. Like imagine you're hanging out with this girl a lot. You're trying to like win her over, and then all of a sudden she gets a boyfriend. Well, that's your. I'm not like low key. That's your fault. You ain't snatched her up. Like
There
like
was
you didn't make the move. You didn't make the move. Is what I'm trying to say.
there was probably a chance for you to like, tell them that you had
Mm,
feelings for them and then possibly move forward in like building that relationship, but because you just didn't initiate that first move and just straight up say it,
yeah.
they ended up
Like
finding someone
yeah.
else that had the
Like
balls to do it.
like honestly, like if like a guy and a girl are hanging out, or well, or a guy and a guy, a girl, a girl, but like if like
Yeah.
if you like this person, you're hanging out, right? And let's say like after a while you don't like clarify that oh, we're just friends, or you don't like clarify or like make it clear that, oh, we're just hanging out because we like to hang out with each other, nothing like deeper
Hmm.
than that, right?
Which
Odds are
can
you
be
don't.
done, boys. There are guy and girl friendships that are 100% platonic.
Mhm. It's
It's,
fine.
it's
There's nothing,
possible.
and there's
It's
nothing wrong with that
possible.
too. Your significant other might get jealous, but it's they gotta deal with that.
That's a
That's
different
that
story.
yeah.
That's
But
a different story.
what's it called? Like as I was saying, like if you don't make it very clear that you're just trying to be friends, then it's not it's the both of you are just in this limbo. You're like,
Hmm.
I don't know how the other person's feeling, and if neither of you speak up, you're gonna be stuck in this limbo, and it's just gonna keep going like that until someone speaks up or like someone goes in a different direction, and you miss it, and you
Yeah,
miss it.
exactly. And you can't really beat yourself up for that because you didn't make the first move and you didn't
Hmm.
make your intentions clear. So
Yeah.
it's kind of on you for that one. And yeah, I guess after having had such a complicated love life,
Hmm.
I'm just kind of at this point where I'm just like working on myself, not really like focused on trying to find anyone right now, just going with the flow. And um if I do find someone that like I would be interested in, like I just got to build up the courage to
Yeah.
like say what's up, you know? Cuz at the end of the day, like how else is a relationship supposed to get started if you don't tell
Yeah.
them?
So you at some point it has to move forward. It
Yeah.
can't just stay in one spot. But if you're like prioritizing getting into a relationship real quick, you better hope that everything else in your life is fine.
Yeah.
Like if you're if your financials aren't doing good or like your grades aren't
Mhm.
doing good, or your life's just like it's just like at a stalemate,
Yeah.
you know, odds are if you're focusing on getting a girlfriend, everything else might tank.
Yeah. For
Um,
sure.
it's like you
Relationships
low
are
like
expensive,
yeah,
bro.
like low key you have to be your best self before you get into a relationship
Mhm.
because stuff like that, even if you successfully get into a relationship, you're technically burdening your significant other with certain things,
Yeah.
and like there's nothing wrong with your significant other being worried for you, but if it's like bad, you're like down bad, like in a really
Yeah.
bad way, um, it might take out of your relationship. That's like the fear that you should have, where like even though you're in a relationship and they support you,
Mhm.
if it's really that bad, like it's a problem that's really like taking on your relationship, like you don't got time for your significant other, or like it's just not making you it's making you like really unhappy, and that unhappy like happiness just like spills over to your relationship, then it's just gonna end up hurting you in the long run, really.
Especially being financially stable.
Hmm.
Like if you're barely making rent, I don't think you should be dating
Oh
anyone.
yeah, because like it having a significant other does take some money
Yeah.
out of your
A
pocket,
lot of money out of your pocket.
because it's like sometimes like even if you're a very what's the word you're a very like frugal person, and
Mhm.
you're like, oh, I'm gonna save a lot of money. Like if you really love this person, you're like, oh, they deserve the world. I can spend some money on them.
Yeah.
And then you look at your bill and you're like, oh shoot, where'd it go? Where's my rent?
Yeah, like sometimes for me, when I was in a relationship, I would think like, oh man, like those could really use some new shoes right now. But then I remember there's an anniversary coming up, and I'm just like, oh shit, I gotta save up for that. It's like shoes gotta wait, and I guess that's the other thing with relationships that a lot of people don't realize too, like just how much sacrifice actually goes into
Hmm.
a good relationship. And if you're not willing to make those sacrifices, then honestly, maybe relationship's not for you, at least not right now.
Yeah, not right now for sure, because there's a lot. Like I said earlier, like there's only so much you can do on your own, and like if you're gonna throw in a relationship on top of everything else you have, you gotta cut out on something. You
Yeah.
know, like like not the problem, but when it's a package deal when you get into a
Mhm.
relationship, like it's not just, oh, I have a girlfriend or I have a boyfriend.
Mhm.
It's more like, now that I have, like, you have to literally dedicate an actual amount of time, like a significant amount of your time, to just keep in touch with them, or like meet whatever meet their needs that they might need from you, um like affectionate wise, and like like, oh, you want to hang out or you just want to call, you got to make time for that.
Yeah.
So like you got to be on top of things, or else you won't have the opportunity to just to actually experience a relationship. Like you're in it, but you're not. If you're not gonna do anything in the relationship, then what's the point? You know, it's just a title at that point.
Yeah, there's a fine line between like still having freedom uh and like it being toxic to where the point like you feel trapped in your relationship.
Hmm.
Um like for a lot of relationships, like one of the hardest things is like balancing having that freedom where you still have time for yourself and like all the other things going on in your life outside of the relationship. But of course it's important, but if you value that so much to the point where your relationship just becomes like a slot on your Google Calendar, then is it really like a relationship at that point? It's more
Hmm.
of just like an obligation.
Yeah, yeah. Because you're kind of like, oh, I'm gonna see this person. Like you're only see. It's like a job basically. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna see this person. I'm gonna get it over with, and then I can do all the other stuff.
yeah,
It's like you're supposed to treat them as as something more. There's something
mm-hmm.
more to this person than just just like being just someone that you're with. Like there's a lot that goes into it, and if you feel obligated, then you kind of gotta look around and ask yourself like, is this really what I want?
Yeah,
Is this really how I should be doing it? Like, if this is what you want, then you gotta change, and if it's
yeah.
not what you want,
And you gotta have the
you gotta have
conversation.
that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was my like one of my hardest realizations in like my last relationship was when I started to like look at spending our time together as more of an obligation.
Hmm.
Then I kind of started to think like and it's kind of sad when you realize it too cuz it's like you don't want it to get to that point, but
Yeah.
sometimes like it just ends up happening and you
Yeah.
just realize it and like your whole world just kind of like goes to
Yeah. Like
shit
it's
pretty
it's
much.
hard to let go.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to believe it. You're like, there's no way. There's
Yeah.
no way. Like I put so much into this.
But it just happens.
Yeah.
Like not everybody is meant to be with each other,
Yeah. But like
And
I think you should cherish the experience. Like if it was a good relationship, you should cherish the experience for sure. Like, breakups they happen,
yeah.
Sometimes it just doesn't work out, but I think that you should obviously like, you'll be sad about it. But like let's say in the future you look back at that and you're kind of like, "You know what? I was still happy though."
Yeah. And
Like,
there's nothing wrong with that. Like
yeah.
realizing that the relationship at some point like made you super happy and you've moved
Yeah.
on and on to better things. And obviously for people that are like in a fresh breakup, it's very hard to get to that point right
Mhm.
now. But honestly, like my advice on that is like as cheesy as it is, like you literally just gotta take one step at a time.
Mhm.
You can't force yourself to, put yourself out there again and just like act like nothing happened. You kind of have to let yourself like feel those sad emotions and grow from it.
Yeah, like
Uh,
you just take it a day at a time,
yeah,
and because there is no pressure
yeah,
to find another significant other, or get into a
yeah,
relationship so quickly. Like, like if there was like, maybe there was something that you wanted to do, and I guess now's the time. Like you don't have to put 100% of your thought into a relationship that passed.
yeah.
Like, uh, it's not like it was weighing you down, but technically now you're free.
Mm-hmm.
You can do other things,
Work on
work
yourself.
on yourself.
Make yourself a better person for whoever
Hmm.
you end up with next.
Yeah, and like I said, take as much time as you need. You know, don't. There's no need to rush because honestly, if you look at the people in your life, no one's telling you, oh, again, gotta get in a relationship, or you're not,
Mm.
you're not cool or something. Like, you just be yourself, man. It's your life, and you're not supposed to let it be dictated by someone else for so long. It's still
Yeah,
your life.
and that's probably like the hardest part of moving on. It's just being okay with the fact that it's over, and
Yeah.
you can't look at it as a relationship you can save anymore, because reality is there is no relationship to save. It's done. And like, I'm not saying like to get over a breakup you gotta wallow in your sadness, make yourself depressed as fuck, only
Mm.
listen to like Juice World and Kid Leroy or whatever the fuck people are listening to these days. Like, dude, Kid Leroy's trash. I don't care,
This is bad.
but like, I'm not saying like you have to do that. What I'm saying is, like, it's okay to be sad. Like, accept the fact that it's over. You're sad about it, but you just gotta keep working on trying to make yourself better. And um, start that passion project you've been talking about, and that is how we started 908's
908
Heartbreak.
Heartbreaks. Let's go.
but but yeah, happy Valentine's Day. Like,
Happy Valentine's Day to you. Hopefully you had a great one. Um, we're spending our time
bro,
on
this
this.
guy's in a relationship. I don't know what he's
Shh.
doing.
Listen, man, I'm trying to just tailor to the theme here.
Yeah.
Like, you want me to talk about my stuff, it'll be a little bit more on the optimistic side.
It's okay to
Um,
be optimistic. We got happy people
okay,
listening
I,
to
I
us
just
too.
didn't, we were in that, we were just, keeping that low point going. I mean, obviously I felt it, I'm not trying to say
Yeah.
that, every relationship's perfect. But like, with the whole being your best self thing, like, now I feel like a hypocrite because I'm in a relationship. I'm not exactly my best self. Um,
Which
but
is okay. It's
it's okay.
okay.
It's shoot. Oh, now I gotta like okay, scratch everything I said, yo. But basically, I'm not saying okay, you shouldn't be your best self, but you should be at a place that you're acceptable with.
That you're
Obviously,
comfortable
there,
with
yeah,
giving
yeah,
to someone else.
yes. There's always room for improvement, but I think you should look at yourself and should be like, would this person, my partner, would they be okay with who I am right now? And like, would I be too much of a burden? Like, there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing wrong with being a burden, but if it's just getting too much for them, then you kind of need to like tone it down.
Hmm.
Cause I know at times it's like, um, I'd be like, sometimes you're just in your bag, like it just happens.
Yeah.
And so I would be like, oh shoot, yo. Like I remember for like a whole month, last semester, I was like, oh shoot, yo, I'm gonna fail at my classes. I'm gonna drop out, yo. I'm gonna work at Dunkin' for the rest of my life. And then like, luckily, my girlfriend was being supportive, but at certain times she got worried. It's like, dude, are you really okay?
Hmm.
Like, I'm getting really worried for you.
Of
Like you're
course.
always like it's always on my mind. This is like weighing me down. And as long as that isn't constant, luckily, as long as it isn't constant, then it's okay to to kind of have your significant other carry the burden with you, but you can't like rely on them to be that emotional. Well, not they are your emotional support, but you can't rely on them to be like your
To fix
caregiver
you,
to fix it.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. Like they have to. You both have to be able to live your own lives at the same time, without like taking time out of an unhealthy amount of time from your own life, so that
Yeah.
you can make time for them to help them out. So there's a give and take, and there's like a a line. There's a line where it becomes too much,
Hmm.
and then if as long as you're below the threshold, then it's okay to like have a certain amount of pressure or burden that you're putting on the other person. And like I know my girlfriend, she gets worried about that in general, where she's like, "Oh, am I too much of a burden for you?
Hmm.
Am I like taking up too much of your time?" I'm like, she's always apologizing, like, "Oh, I'm sorry that like that you're like taking time out of like talking to your friends to talk to me." I'm like, "On, but it's okay, It's like one of the like it's a sacrifice that you're willing to make.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Exactly.
like I'm not gonna I can not play with my friends on Minecraft for one day.
Yeah.
Like I can always make time
Hmm.
when I want to
Cause the
to
homie's always gonna be there
oh,
at the end of the
be
day.
there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like I think the okay here. I think here's my final statement with the whole being your best self. So, if you can be as good as you're okay with, that you're comfortable with, to be as a person, but independently, then when you're with your significant other, then you can only get better. Like
Yeah.
if this is your best right now, it can only get better with
Hmm.
your other. Like you're gonna build each other up basically, which is a really beautiful thing about being in a relationship that like that the boba that the nicotine doesn't reflect
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
like that's you're not growing basically if you're gonna do stuff like that. Like when a relationship grows, like that's real,
Hmm.
and it's like it's so nice to have.
I guess
Um,
I could talk more on like the toxic end of relationships, just because I've
yeah, yeah, I know.
I've been through it. I've been through it.
Yeah, the
Um,
years of experience.
but I guess for all my people that might be trapped in a toxic relationship, here's my advice. Once you start to realize that you're scared of that you might not be giving enough time to your significant other, and that you're scared that they're going to get upset with you for that, or let's say you're hanging out with your like a female friend that they just so happen to not like for some reason, then maybe that's a sign that you should probably try to get out of your
Hmm.
relationship. Because I guess for me, when I was stuck in like a toxic and abusive relationship, I was like so focused on like making that person happy and trying to fix them, because like obviously people are toxic for a reason. Like they've been through shit, everybody's been through shit. But like we said, like it's not your job to fix them,
Hmm.
Like you're not a therapist. You didn't go to school to fix toxic people. And also when you went into the relationship, you didn't sign up for that,
Yeah.
And I know like it's very hard to get out of a toxic and abusive relationship, believe me. I gave them so many chances, and I let myself basically get ripped to shreds. I cut off like so many people. I was stuck in that relationship, and yeah, it hurts. It hurts to cut it off too, because like you just like I said, like you spent so much of your life trying to make that person feel better that you almost feel like you failed. And I understand that's like normal to feel, but you shouldn't hold yourself accountable for that, because like I said, it's not your job. It's not your job to fix people.
Hmm.
And but yeah, if you feel like you're trapped in like a toxic and abusive relationship where they're just kind of controlling your every little movement, not like controlling who you're talking to and shit like that, um, maybe it's time that you like sit down and reflect on it and like really analyze how you feel about your relationship. And I guess my advice for people that are seeking a relationship, um,
Don't. Not like that.
yeah, don't do it. It's mad work. Your money gone. But it's gonna be a lot of work, especially even a healthy one,
Oh yeah.
because as much freedom as you can give each other, you do still need to make time for each other. And if you're both very strong and independent people, that's great. But um, sometimes that can be very hard to work with, and it's honestly just a process of like give and take and compromising, and um, like like making sacrifices for each other. It's like sacrifices are never gonna end a relationship. Like it's just constant sacrifices just to make it keep going and make it good.
Yeah, that's how it be. Like there's a lot of like compromise, yes.
Yeah.
Like especially if you're in college and like you both have busy schedules and you
Mhm.
both have jobs.
Yep.
That's how it is. Like that's honestly why I couldn't see my girlfriend today was because she had work,
Mhm.
and it's like one of those jobs where like you kind of can't exactly just call out
Yeah.
Even if you do it in advance, like you only have a limited amount of days you're allowed to call out and stuff.
Hmm.
And it's just like, it's a sad situation, but like, yeah, there's a lot that I we have to do just to make it work, like to meet up, because like there's only a small window of time. So like let's say like homework and stuff that you gotta do it, you gotta finish it,
Yeah.
gotta make time for it, and that's what it takes sometimes.
You gotta sacrifice that anime binge time,
Hmm.
that video game time. You gotta sacrifice it to like work towards a relationship sometimes,
Yeah.
and that's just how it is. I'm not saying like you gotta drop that stuff once you get into a relationship.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah. If you
toxic.
yeah, if you completely change up your personality, that's not right.
like,
That's not right.
like you gotta stay true to yourself still while you're in this relationship.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's different for everyone. There's a
Oh
fine
yeah.
line between giving too much and also giving too little. So
Yeah. I think what happens is you gotta be self aware of where you are in a
hmm
relationship.
for sure.
Like if it starts feeling like an obligation, kind of start to like you gotta start thinking about it, like what is really happening. Um, because like even if things are going really good, there's nothing wrong with like looking at it and being like, okay, let me just do it like a checkup basically.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong, and if you come to a good conclusion, that's a good thing. There's that's there's no way for that to go wrong if you're in a good relationship, really.
Yeah.
And even if you're in a good relationship and you come to conclusion, maybe something might be off.
You gotta
Well,
break it up.
there's nothing wrong with talking about it to your
Yeah.
significant other.
You got to.
Yeah, like that's the communication is very important. No matter how you're feeling,
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't, maybe I'm feeling like a little like not, just like, oh, I'm just not feeling it,
hmm
or like, maybe we should like take a break. I gotta focus on other things. Then that stuff you might have to. It hurts to bring up, but you have to.
Yeah.
You can't.
That's always the hardest
Yeah,
conversations.
because you can't. If you just keep dragging it on, it's just gonna reach that point. It's gonna reach that
Just get
point where
worse.
it just gets worse. Yeah. I mean, let me tell you though, if you start feeling like things are getting boring, and you're like, oh, I'm not feeling this constant feeling of love. Um, maybe you're thinking about the wrong type of feeling.
Yeah. You gotta
Cause
you gotta work towards
yeah,
having that spark again.
yeah. Cause like
Cause that
I
fades away.
yeah, like I've been in the relationship and like that high that you feel at the very beginning, when it goes away, I think some people misinterpret that. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe I don't really like this person. But I like if you're just there long enough, then that high wears off. But that doesn't mean you don't love each other.
hmm
Like
That's
I
when the real work
still
comes in.
yeah, oh I appreciate this. I still appreciate who this person is. I'm really attracted to this person, and like we really vibe. And like even if you don't feel it in some way, that doesn't mean it's gone. So I think at least that's something that I learned,
Yeah.
where it's like I kept asking myself, where like, am I really feeling this relationship? Am I really like, because I'm not feeling different in a way.
hmm
I mean, I feel like you shouldn't have to feel different. Like love is just should be just a part of you at that point.
Yeah.
That you don't got to be like, oh, I'm suddenly changed. Um, like I physically or mentally feel a different way each day now that I'm in a relationship. It's more like when you see that person, as long as like, they make you smile, or just thinking about them makes you smile, that's enough
Yeah.
to show that this is real, compared to like, oh, I feel like I feel like my heart beating like 120 beats per minute just by thinking about them, like that same high like when you're in a relationship for like the first few weeks.
hmm
Like you shouldn't expect it to always be like this big thing. Like it can be subtle, but it's still significant in your
Yeah.
life to have that type of love.
But people get caught up, like I said, in the standards of TikTok and K dramas and rom coms and just
Hmm.
social media in general that they have this like really bad expectation of there constantly being this feeling of, oh yeah, like I'm so in love with you, like you're my other half, and
Hmm.
like nothing can ever take that away from me. But it's just not reality.
Yeah, like you can't be that sappy every single
Yeah,
day. Like
it's just not
you're gonna run out of like pickup lines after a
Yeah,
while.
yeah, for sure.
Like there's nothing wrong with saying good things to your significant other, but if you keep saying stuff like that,
It loses meaning.
it loses meaning, yeah. And after a while, it's like, do you really mean what you're saying?
Yeah,
Are you just saying it because we're in a relation? Like, once again, back to the obligation. Are you saying, like, oh, I love you because only because we're in a relationship, only because
or do
we
you mean it?
agreed to this?
Yeah,
Or you're like, oh, you're my world, you're my everything. And then it's like, wow, like, that's an Instagram post right there. Like, you just gotta realize what's real and what's not. What's
yeah,
real love, what's real not.
and that's like I said, just the fine balance of maintaining a stable and healthy relationship. And for all my single people out there, stay strong. You'll find them. Maybe they'll come to you. Maybe you'll come to them. Who knows? Sometimes even when you're not looking, that's when they come to you. So
Oh, yeah.
just keep
You
your
don't
head
have
up.
to worry about that. And for my people who are in relationships, yes, stay strong. It can get tough. Um,
Just gotta put in the
and
work to
yeah,
make
you can
things
put in the
better.
work. Don't be afraid to speak up. Have a conversation with your significant other. Um, and you should be afraid to, not to lose it, I guess, but you should be more afraid of not making every second of that relationship count.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, because if it's gone, right, and you look back at it, and you weren't really happy in the first place, then maybe it's for the best.
Yeah.
So
And for all my simps out there that partake in this toxic simp culture, cut that shit out, man. That shit's just cringy, bro. Like,
we don't like your kind.
like it's okay to like buy girls boba or
Yeah.
like get them flowers
It's a
and like
start, yeah. Like
yeah,
it's a
take him out to
start.
eat, like do these kinds acts of services. But until you're straight up with them and tell them how you feel, you really can't expect anything in return.
Hmm.
And like someone's like feelings towards you, you kind of have to earn it. And like
But
that's just not
not earn it in the wrong way. Not
yeah.
earn it in the wrong way.
You can't like you really can't be going into these things expecting something in return because that's when you're just going to end up disappointed and hating yourself and your life, and that's just not good for anyone. So just don't be a fucking simp, man. Just be a nice person and don't
Yeah,
expect anything in return.
like the connotation with simp.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with being nice, but
Yeah.
the thing with like the definition of a simp is that you're being nice in so that you can get something in return.
Yeah.
You're
You're just
trying
an
to.
asshole for that, honestly.
You're a
Genuinely.
scalper. You're scalping.
Like,
Like these acts of kindness should be genuine. They
yeah.
should always be genuine. Like, you can't just be trying to get some cooch up in here.
That's not how it works,
That's
bro.
not how it works.
Like, especially in this climate, dude. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
You should know better already.
Yeah. Like, if you gotta win their heart, not
Yeah.
their bank, not their bank. So
Yeah. That's just stop. Get some help. Listen to
yeah.
us.
You've heard two sides of a coin, and you're on none of them. I think you gotta like figure that
For
out.
real. You're just something else, man.
Yeah, man.
It's not because you're built different. You're just a bitch. Like,
Yeah, dude.
honestly.
Like, if you want to listen to the next podcast, you better change it up.
Yeah, for real.
You
Like,
better change it up.
we don't accept bitches as fans, bro. Like, come
Yeah.
on now.
If I see you trying to follow us or something, that we're gonna block.
It's on site, bro.
It's on
Like,
site. We're gonna tell all the girls we know not to talk to you.
but yeah. Come on, guys. Like, seriously, stop being a
Yeah.
simp. Like, that's just so bad for you.
Like,
And
please please.
you're never gonna get anyone if you like just keep that toxic mindset and like just crying over girls and like this just trend of like crying over Asian girls. Like it's so oh my god, it's so annoying and just stop, bro.
Yeah.
Like just stop.
Because you have to ask yourself, right? What are you really crying about? Like, am I crying because I missed a very like golden opportunity? Or am I crying because I worked so hard for something that wasn't gonna work out in the first
Yeah.
place? Like, if you're crying for that, the former reason, which is that, oh sorry, not the former, the second reason about, oh, I put so much money in work only for it to not work out. I don't know what to tell you, man. You didn't know the risk.
Yeah.
You didn't think about this when you
Yeah.
started.
You just didn't think this shit
You
through,
just didn't
bro.
think it through, man. Like
Just gotta get your shit together.
like I think you dudes need to realize that like I think that people say heartbreak a lot when they get rejected. That's not heartbreak.
No,
Like
absolutely not.
heartbreak is when you put like your like everything into it and then like they took it and then they just ripped it to shreds. Like
Yeah, that's hard.
that's
That's hard.
heartbreak,
Yeah.
you know? And like getting rejected, that type of heartbreak. It's not that's not clout. Like I don't know dude like Asian dudes they be like, "Yeah, I've been heartbroken by a few girls." Like I don't know like does that make you more Asian? Does that make you like a better person or something?
Uh-uh.
Like it's not a flex. And I don't know. I
It's
feel like
not something
people,
you should be proud of
yeah,
either.
it's not like you just gotta. I don't know why we still gotta say this, but you gotta grow up.
Yeah, honestly.
You gotta grow up. You can't keep doing this for the rest of your life. Like if you're like let's say this is a like you're like a job type thing, right?
Hmm.
And you're trying to get a job, and you're like, oh yeah, man, like I've been rejected from a job 3 times. I'm like super unemployed. See if you look at it like that, and you ask yourself why you're unemployed, you look at your resume and you're like, oh, I see what I'm missing.
Yeah.
So I think like if you were to follow that analogy into having a relationship, and you get rejected, it's not that you didn't put enough work. Sometimes there's like something that's just missing. That you gotta like figure out. Um, and like oh like let's say you're like an arts major and then you're applying for a business job. Like even though you're a good arts major, even though you're really good at art, that's not what they're looking for, you know? Like
Hmm.
sometimes the person that you might be wanting to get with, even if you're a really good person, it might just be they're not looking for that
Yeah.
type of person. But that doesn't mean that you need to change. You just got to accept that there are people in this world that have different opinions.
Yeah. And that
And
somebody will
yeah,
be there that you'll be right for.
yeah.
You just gotta wait for it. Just gotta be patient. Keep your head up. Work on yourself. And like we said, just be your best self.
Like there's never a reason to rush. Like it's so weird because you're in high school and you're like, maybe it's time to get a relationship. Then you go to college. Maybe it's time to get a relationship. You graduate. Maybe it's time to get a relationship. Like it's not like, oh, now's the time, you know?
Hmm.
It comes to you. It just comes to you.
Yeah.
Like if you feel ready for it, like legitimately ready for it, then it works out. Or like, sometimes the opportunity just presents itself.
Yep.
So,
And that's all we have to say on that.
yep. So yeah, just just take what you can from this. 908s and heartbreaks.
Alright. I know it was a little messy at the beginning, but uh,
It
we
is
ended
what
up.
it is. It
Yeah.
is what it is. I
Thanks
mean, you
for.
listened. If you listen up to this point, so
Yeah.
good on you.
Thanks for listening to us.
Yes, thank you.
Hopefully you'll tune in for the next one. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this to your friends.
Mm,
Follow us on our socials, which we will leave typed up at the end of this. And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.